Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. So today we're going to be decorating for Valentine's Day, but we're also going to make a soup because it is super chilly outside. So what you're going to need for the soup is, it's going to be an Olive Garden. Actually, it's going to be better than Olive Garden's Olive Garden gnocchi soup. You're going to need gnocchi. This, I'm doubling the recipe, so I'm going to use 2 gnocchis, but you only need 1 unless you want to double. You're going to need spinach, half and half, flour, chicken broth. For the spices, you're going to need red pepper flakes, mustard grounds, thyme, salt and pepper. We're going to do an onion, garlic, butter. You need 4 ounces or 8 ounces if you're doubling. You're going to need chicken breasts, as much or as little as you want. I'm using, I think there's about 5 in here that were left over from the last time I made this soup that were in the freezer. You're going to need carrots. You're supposed to julienne them, so I just buy these matchstick carrots that are already ready. I'm also using celery. You can use as little or as much celery, but I'm basically going to use this whole thing. So let's get to it. Alright, so I chopped everything. I chopped all the garlic. It was like, I think maybe 6 cloves or something. You can add or take away. I also did, it turned out to be 10 celery sticks, but they were very small, and then a whole onion. So first thing we're going to do is put the whole stick 8-ounce butter in there and let it get nice and melty. So once the butter is all melty, go ahead and add in all the celery and the onions. You're also going to want to add in the carrots. I'm going to use this whole bag. It kind of seems like a lot, but trust me, when the soup's all made, it's really not. And this tastes a lot like chicken and dumplings, so if you like chicken and dumplings, you're going to love this soup. Or if you're just a soup lover, you're going to love this soup. So go ahead and just give this a nice little stir. And you're going to cook it for roughly 5 minutes until the onions are translucent. But in the meantime, I am patting my chicken dry. Now this is supposed to be boneless, skinless chicken, but I have noticed that even when I get boneless, skinless chicken breasts, every once in a while there'll be bones. While the vegetables are cooking, you're gonna want to take this opportunity to trim any extra fat. This I basically did already. The trimming, I did a huge pack from Sam's Club and I trimmed all of it. I'm going to check to see if I missed any pieces though, because sometimes you'll get like a really ugly piece. Like, I don't like the way this piece on here looks, and sometimes it'll like be like a little bone. Here's another piece that I don't find that looks very appealing. I'm going to cut that off. But anyways, everything else looks pretty good. So use this 5 minutes to clean your chicken. Okay, I'm stirring this occasionally, and it's been cooking for about 5 minutes. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and add in my garlic, and then I'm going to let that cook for another about a minute or so. And then while that's cooking for another minute, I'm going to go ahead and take the time to season my chicken. You can do salt, pepper, onion powder, garlic powder, really anything you want, but that's what I'm using. And I'm just kind of heavy-handed because this is going to be going directly into the liquid anyways. So, but they do say to do this in the recipe. But I do both. I add the seasonings to the chicken itself, and then I add a little to the pot. Okay, the next part is you're going to add flour. I'm going to add a little more than what the recipe calls for. And the reason is because I want my soup to be a little extra thick. I'm going to add almost a full cup. It's going to be a little over 3/4 of a cup. Okay, so right here, you're going to want to just give it a stir. And the goal is to cook the flour, the taste of the flour out of the vegetables. I add a little bit more than 2 cups of half and half, but that's because I like to break the rules and not follow the directions. When you add the cream, you want to add it very slowly so you don't break the roux. and it's going to become more thicker. It's almost going to look like there's little pieces of mashed potatoes in there. So let this cook just for about 2 minutes. Okay, so really slowly you're going to add a little bit of this, a little bit of cream, and give it a stir. Just very, very slowly. As you can see, it's looking really thick, almost like mashed potatoes. But don't worry, trust the process. So I'm just going to add in slowly and stir. I do this in probably like 15 minutes to add in all the liquids, just because I do not want to break the roux, and I've added it in a lot quicker than this and it doesn't taste as good. So slow and steady wins the race. There was 2 cups of half and half, and I'm probably going to add about another cup. I'm just going to keep doing this until I run out of half and half, and it's probably going to take, you know, like maybe 2 more minutes just for me to continue to stir. It's been about 10 minutes and I'm just still adding everything slowly, but you can see it's obviously a lot thinner now and it's looking more like soup. So I just keep on pouring and stirring, pouring and stirring until both containers are gone. As it's boiling, I'm going to add 1 teaspoon of the ground mustard and 1 teaspoon of the dried thyme. And then give that a good stir. At this time, I'm also going to go ahead and add in garlic powder and onion powder. Even though it is on my chicken, I'm still going to add it in there just because I think it tastes good like that. Don't add salt because there's salt in the chicken broth. However, I am going to add in a little bit of pepper and give that a nice stir. If you add too much pepper, it gets hot, like spice hot. And one time I made this and I added way too much pepper. I was like, ooh, you can't go wrong. You can go wrong because it was hot. As there's a light boil, drop the chicken in. The whole raw chicken, you're gonna boil it in the soup. Set the timer for 15 minutes because you don't want to overcook it, otherwise your chicken's gonna be too chewy. If you use chicken breasts, definitely you don't want to cook it more than about 13 minutes because then it will be like a really tough. That's best to use chicken thighs. So while this is boiling, you can go ahead and give it an occasional stir. I just stirred it. Now in the meantime, I'm going to come over here to my spinach and I'm going to go ahead and chop this. I like taking the really long part of the stem off. You don't have to, but I save them for my chickens. And usually whatever's left of the spinach I give to my chickens. They love the spinach. Anyways, if you can put it in whole, but I will tell you the first time I made this, I did not chop it. I just threw it in whole. Didn't wilt as good, and it just is better if you do a rough chop. So that's what we're gonna do real quick, is a rough chop. Here's a sneak peek at the chickens enjoying the spinach. They love it. Okay, back inside. Soup is coming along nicely. I'm gonna give it a stir. There's about 3 minutes left on the timer. So we're just gonna wait a couple more minutes and then we're gonna take these bad boys out. Also, we're gonna take a peek at my bread. I made a homemade bread. That looks delicious. That also has 3 minutes and then that's popping out too. So it's looking delicious. It's time to take out my bread and it's also time to take out the chickens. Okay, so now that I took my bread out, I'm gonna go ahead and take my chicken out. So I'm just gonna bring the board over here. Let as much of that sauce, juice, soup, whatever you wanna call it, go off the chicken. And guys, I kind of have you guys at weird angles because the little plate to my camera is missing. So you guys are literally propped up on the tripod, being held with the strap. So hopefully you guys don't go anywhere. Now what you're going to want to do is you're going to want to add gnocchi. Probably use a ladle so you don't get burned. You can add 1 pack of these. I'm adding 2. My youngest loves these and he always wants extra. Once you pour all those in, give it a stir and wait 5 minutes. In the meantime, start shredding your chicken. Chicken should look like this. All right, it's been 5 minutes. I'm going to add the chicken back in, and this is where you're also going to want to add the spinach. And you're going to add as much red pepper flakes as you want, but trust me, you don't want to add a ton unless you really, really like spicy food. We're gonna let this set for about a minute. Allow the spinach to wilt down. And then this is where you add as much pepper flakes as you like. I know it doesn't look like a lot, but I'm telling you, just this little bit adds a lot of spice. The soup looks delicious. Time for the bread. It sounds delicious. And here's the bread. It is so nice and airy. Look at that. It's so fluffy. And it has such a beautiful crust to it. Soup is done. This one's mine. I gave the other one to my son. My other sons are busy. So this is what it is. I'm going to do a test taste. First, the bread. The bread's delicious. I'll show you guys how to make that recipe in another video. Got a little piece of everything. That steam's coming off. Ooh. This is a 10 out of 10. Highly recommend. Let me eat this and then we'll get ready to decorate for Valentine's Day. Now that the kitchen's cleaned up, the first thing I'm going to hang up is this Valentine sign. It's super cute. I got it at Hobby Lobby and I picked it up, I would say, I think a year or 2 ago. And they have a new one this year. I'll show you. Give me a second. These are the other 2 pictures. I looked everywhere for them the last few years, and well, at least 2, and they didn't have them, but this year I got to them early enough, so I got them. So let's hang these up. They look super cute in the windowsill. Love that. I figured I should give you guys an overview of what it looks like before we really get started. So this is what I have out so far. You guys saw me hang up those 2 pictures. I did bring this out because I'm going to put mugs in there. Actually, I have Rae Dunn mugs, even though I'm not into Rae Dunn anymore. That's what I have, so that's what I'm decorating with. And they still look cute, so they're gonna go in there. And the one thing I did already do, sorry about the shadow. But the one thing I did do is I was playing around with these donuts and I was putting them in there. And I was trying to stack them to make them look really cute. And these are actually really adorable donuts. I got this whole pack for like 15 bucks last year at Home Goods. And I am going to be decorating with a lot of sweets this year. So definitely check out my haul if you haven't already, because I got a lot of really cute sweets. So, and we're going to be adding some in here. But let's get decorating.
You say you don't wanna get in trouble, that you're doing fine cause you got me. I don't wanna break your little bubble, but you gotta wake up to reality. Cause I can see in your eyes, your head is full of dreams. Tears aren't proof of failure, you just gotta let them flow without judge. There's so many ways to be happy. You can do whatever you like. You don't have to be ready. You just gotta trust the right. Don't have to be scary. You just gotta follow the light. You're able to be happy. You can do whatever you like. You don't have to be ready. You don't have to be. I see you hesitating while you're waiting, like somebody's gonna give it to you. You gotta chase it, gotta believe it. You gotta go get it for yourself. Cause I can see in your eyes, your head is full of dreams. Tears aren't proof of failure, you just gotta let them flow without judge. There's so many ways to be happy. You can do whatever you like. You don't have to be ready. You just gotta trust the right. Don't have to be scary. You just gotta follow the light. You're able to be happy. You can do whatever you like. You don't have to be ready. You don't have to be. You don't have to be ready.
I just got done adding a few things off camera, moving a couple things around. So this is what it looks like. A couple of spots in the kitchen I'm not going to show you because I'm going to show it during my home tour. So you'll have to come back and see what everything looks like. But for right now, you can see like I added these new pictures, this thing hanging up, another picture here. Sorry about the sunlight in the back room, but and then I did add this jar of cookies. Those are the best cookies. If you get a big pack at Walmart, they're like $5.48. They're so good. So this is what it looks like. I did this little section over here, but I want you guys to come back for my home tour so you guys can see it and let me know what you think. It is so cute. And then over here, I might add a little bit of flowers in here on each side of that red cup. I'm not sure, but that is what everything is looking like. And I had so much fun decorating in here. So guys, if you like the way this all looks, give me a thumbs up, hit that subscribe button, and I'll see you in my next video. Bye guys.